I'm going to show a couple of ways you can use the new rustic cobblestone border punch to make your own paper if you would like, or some other ways to use it. The new Creative Memories Medieval Moments paper pack comes with a couple of sheets of two different patterns. One has this really nice cobblestones, different sizes, different colors. I love that. And the other is more of the what you would see probably on a road. Has all the same colors, but with some variation in the tone and different sizes. There's two sheets of each of those patterns in a pack. But I've visited a lot of castles recently, and I know I'm going to need more than this paper for the castle pictures that I want to do. So I thought I'd show you something I'm going to try. I got this punch. I've put out the new desk mat, and it is 36 by 17 inches, and it is non-slip backing, and it has a strap that goes with it. I'm going to show you straps separately and a carrying case here if you want. So there's the strap, and I have been using this a couple of days. I just got it in the mail. Right now they are sold out, and I don't know if they're going to be offered again. I have a couple of extras, but I have so far really enjoyed this. And since I'm doing inking, I'm also using the non-slip, the inking mat. I'm blanking there on what it's called, but I've enjoyed using that, and I've been able to wipe this desk mat off, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. What I did was I punched just plain white cardstock using that rustic cobblestone punch. One thing that doesn't work very well, I tried to punch it folded with this cardstock. Heavier paper, it wanted to give up, and I was afraid I was going to break it. So note to self, don't do double. But one time works really nice, and I wanted a little bit harder cardstock because what I wanted to do is to make my own cobblestone paper. And this is what I've got so far, and I'm going to just show you a couple of rounds of that. I'm putting it down, and I'm using the masking tape, the placing tape there, which you can use this or washi tape or whatever you have. This is put out by Creative Memories, so that's easy. And I've masked off what's up above, but you don't really need to worry about that probably that much, just because the overall tone doesn't have to be exactly ink-free. Now, you can see I probably went a little overboard on the water because my paper is a little bendy. So I'm going to try and do better. But what I found was a really good thing was to use two different colors, and I'm going to use black and a reddish brown. This one is called Potter's Clay. It matches up with our caramel, and this would match up with our black. So when I do the two colors, I'm just going to put a little bit on this mat, and then use a little bit of water, maybe 1 squirt instead of 2. And then I'm going to use a blender brush here. Just get that good and wet. I don't have that taped down really good. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of circularly add ink to that. And each set of bricks is going to be a little different. You'll notice that I've got darker, then a little lighter, and then darker. Just kind of depends on whatever you do there. And then I'm going to use the brown, same way. I may add a little bit more of each of those, depending on how I like it, but I tried 3 colors, but like a gray, but you couldn't really see the gray on this. The black turned out better, and the darker brown was good too. So I'm gonna just add that on. And you get a mix of the different colors, and I'm definitely gonna need more brown. And I'm doing this on a beige cardstock. Boy, it is not staying in place. I will go ahead and take that back. There we go. So I'm gonna say that's good enough there, and then I'll pull that off and you can see. That gives you your bricks on the paper. And I might not even mask the next time. Let's just do it. And I'm gonna switch it over so it's a little bit different pattern. So the bricks are not exactly all running uniform. And this is not perfect. If you're going to just use a small piece of paper, you probably want to cut it and then do this. You could also cut several of these borders. This is about a 1.5 inch. So you need like, I think 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, about 8 of these borders, and then tape them all on and do it all at one time. Or you can do like this and add, just move your punched piece. I'm just gonna show you the difference between that and show when I don't mask it, it's not quite as clean of a line, but I think maybe that looks more realistic. We'll kind of experiment just to see. And brown. Maybe a better taping job than I did there, but all in all, I think it's going to work out just fine. And then you can see, so someone that's probably more skilled at inking probably could do a more uniform job, but I'll probably just finish doing this, and I'm going to be cutting this to make a project, so it won't be like you see the whole sheet at one time. You obviously could, I'm going to just show you on the back side, do a little bit here and there instead of doing the whole page, to kind of give yourself some accents. And then if you're going to put photos on anyway, kind of do it around where you can see this, but you won't cover up your stencil work. So you did this, and then you had some other stuff going on. That would be also something instead of doing a whole sheet. Obviously, you can use this as a border on a sheet of paper and just lay it over the top, punch it, and then lay it on top of something else. But I thought being able to make my own page would be helpful just to stretch my supplies. The other color combination I had was I used a gray, and we visited one castle where it had a fire and it turned some of the stones pink. So I used, instead of a brown, I used the black and I used red. The pink itself did not show up very much, but I thought this was an interesting color on that gray cardstock, so I'll probably be doing some of this as well. So those are a couple of things that I did as far as using the ink. The other idea I thought might work just for accent is I inked some of the same tan paper, and then when you punch with this rustic cobblestone, and you need to wait until the paper is dry, fully dry. I tried it with it wet, and my punch did not like that. So when you punch, you end up with some punch outs. For some reason, I can't get that quite straight. There we go. Probably because I've worked the paper up so much. But if you're not familiar with the border punches, you want to line up your paper where it covers up the blue paint and get the other edge at the top of the punch area to make sure that you have a continuous design. And like I said, I'm catching on something in there. But that's what it looks like when you punch it out. And what you end up with, if you've inked that paper, are lots of little bricks. And if you have a layout, you just want to have some extra texture to give that idea of bricks. You can take that. I'm just going to use my repositionable tape and kind of just do some taping here, and then add some random bricks. Just to give a little more of that cobblestone old world feel. And that was one thing I liked about this punch. Everything did not go all in the same direction. It had a lot of different shapes and orientations, sizes, little bricks, big bricks. I was thinking those were really white looking bricks because I had them on the uninked side. So you get the idea there. Just add in your extra punches here and give yourself a little bit of design without having a whole sheet of it, but it still gives you that cobblestone feel. You could also punch this out of like a textured pattern paper. Like I said, I wouldn't do it out of super thick paper, but regular cardstock's fine, but a lot of our designer paper has multi-tones in it that would make nice cobblestones. We also have if you don't have the rustic cobblestone, we have a brick border maker cartridge. We also have a brick stencil, I believe, that I couldn't find to show you, but I'm sure I have it here somewhere. And I think those would work nice too, but I thought this was just nice for the variety of sizes and shapes to go with this. And once I have everything in here that I want, and you could stick some of these up on foam tape. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can see that's kind of there. And then I'll just rub off whatever repositionable tape I don't need. If you would rather, you could use like repositionable tape on the backs of them, or put down some precision point adhesive. But I was just going for the fast route. But those are all some ways that I'm going to be using the rustic cobblestone to do my castle papers. And for everyone that's joining me on Tuesday for the scripture and scrapping, we will definitely be using our castle ideas, and so I wanted you to be able to have a chance to get your supplies if you didn't have a stone type paper, to have some ideas on ways to make your own. So I hope this helps, and I hope you get a chance to experiment and try out making your own stones. Thanks. Bye.